Number 8, Eric Matthews from Saw 2, 3, and 4. I think one of the things that we all think about when we think about a protagonist in the Saw franchise, we ultimately go back to Eric Matthews. For the most part, he was the first protagonist in the type of Saw franchise film that we all have come to think about in terms of the structure of the entire series. One of the more interesting things about him is how his entire legacy ties not only to John, but also Amanda and even Hoffman, even though that wasn't fully explored in any part of the series. Maybe this was something that you truly had to be there for, but knowing that he was still alive at the end of Saw 2, probably still alive at the end of Saw 3, and knowing that he was going to be a prominent feature in Saw 4 really built up his character and the mythology surrounding him. You didn't know exactly how he was connected to everyone, and seeing it play out the way it did, it felt really exciting during that moment, and I feel like that's one of the reasons he deserves to be on this list. I don't think any other character in the franchise made that much more of an impact.
I especially love Eric Matthews' character. And it's so much is not so much the person, the character itself, but it's the interaction of this type of character with all the other Saw characters. I mean, you see at the beginning how he starts off in depression. He talks about how he has to deal in raising his son. He has a huge argument with him. But deep down, he still loves his son. But we can all relate to what kind of a character and kind of cop that he is, because we've all seen or heard cliche characters of being a policeman. But we also see his interactions with Carrie, his interactions with Rig, and especially the one that stands out the most is his interactions with Jigsaw. The fact that Tobin Bell and Donnie Wahlberg are both tremendous actors in their own right, they both managed to get the best out of each other with certain dialogue, and it's just a simple scenario of, I'm trying to get my son, you have my son, please help me, help you, and get him back. And at the same time, Jigsaw's like, I am trying to help you, you are broken, let me help you in my own way. But we also come to care because the fact that anybody can relate to this character about a father trying to save his son. But at the end of Saw 2, we find out that his son is okay, but now he is the one that's in peril. We, as an audience, are now fully invested in this character. And this is why I believe that Eric is one of the best protagonist procedural officers in the entire series. I mean, the opening in Saw 3, people had no idea that he was going to be in the opening scene in Saw 3. We just assumed that he was probably gone, locked away, just like Adam was in the first movie. And yet, we see him interact with Amanda and what he did for her character. And not to mention, in Saw 4, what his character meant for Rig, trying to save him, because we all felt that Eric was important, and this franchise made Eric feel important.
You know, I feel like that's a really good point. One of the things that we don't really talk about a lot when it comes to horror movie franchises and their respective protagonists is just how much staying power they have, especially when you're talking about the icons. Now, I guess I would not go as far as to say that Donnie Wahlberg's Eric Matthews in the Saw franchise is someone like Laurie Strode is to Michael Myers from the Halloween franchise. With that being said, it is kind of interesting to see the importance that is given to Donnie Wahlberg's character over the first couple of sequels. I mean, the Saw series is pretty much like any other horror movie franchise, where at least they had the ability to clear shop at the end of every single film and start fresh with the next sequel. But Donnie Wahlberg's character comes back in Saw 3 when he had no reason to, and then again in Saw 4 as the main catalyst into the fourth film's game. I guess outside of Amanda or Xavier, he is one of the first characters that we see in the franchise willing to just do whatever it takes in order to survive and get out of his trap. And if you think about it, the 3 times that he does it really helps to establish John, Amanda, and even Hoffman. It's Eric's decision at the end of Saw 2 which makes us see just how methodical and planned out and structured John is. Nothing can rattle him, not even being beat to near death. However, when he almost instantaneously escapes the bathroom, we see just how much that rattles Amanda and how that interaction shapes her personality going forward. And finally, before he dies in the series, his role in that movie helps us see just how heartless Hoffman is. It's worth noting that while the series never delved too much into the relationship between these two individuals, you have to at least assume that they had somewhat of a relationship, and when he dies, Hoffman just doesn't care. I don't know, this was kind of a rant. It might be cheating to say that Eric is a good character because of how much he informs all the other characters who are going to make it onto this list. That's not a spoiler. You guys know that those 3 are going on the list somewhere. But really, when it comes to a franchise like this, it's hard to find a character that has so much meaning and has so much important interactions with some of the main people in the entire series. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this second entry in SAW-Tober. Make sure to go down to the description section below where you can find a link to Jacob's channel and his corresponding video where we're going to be doing the 9 worst characters of the Saw franchise over there. So guys, make sure to come back every single day until October 30th, where we're going to be counting down the 9 best characters in the Saw franchise. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content going forward. It's been real.